Mailbag time here on Falcons Today, answering questions from our live show, which airs every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Kevin C33, what's going on, dude? What do you think about trading for Robert Woods? I've heard some very low-level buzz about maybe Robert Woods being traded because the Texans traded for Stephon Diggs. Tank Dell is awesome. Nico Collins is rising. So Robert Woods may see himself fall down the depth chart a little bit. Last year for the Houston Texans, 426 yards. Remember, he was with the Rams for a while. Then, unfortunately, he tore his ACL in practice in that 2020 season. Wasn't really the same after that with the Titans or the Rams. I'd be open to trading for Robert Woods. I've been very outspoken on this channel that I feel like Atlanta needs to go add another wide receiver. So, yeah, I feel like Robert Woods for a very low-level cost, we're talking probably like a 6th or 7th round pick going over to Houston, would be something I would sign off on. Now, what do you guys think about this? Would you trade for Robert Woods? I would be open to trading for Robert Woods. He's not my number one target or anything like that, but if I get a notification the Atlanta Falcons have traded for Robert Woods, my initial reaction is not going to be, this is a bad idea. It'll be like, you know what? I don't see a downside to this. I only see an upside because it's not going to cost you very much at all. Next one coming in from Thomas Guerrera. I think we go 10-7, rise up. I, too, had the Falcons going 10-7 in my record prediction video. I invite you all to go watch that after this video. It's up on the channel. Archangel, what's going on, buddy? Could Clark Phillips possibly be Brent Grimes 2.0? That's a blast from the past. Let's go. I love when Brent Grimes was once on the league in a cameo. And I was like, is that Brent Grimes? Yes, I suppose. I just feel like I can't give a really, honest answer because I just haven't seen enough of Clark Phillips. But yeah, I could see a world where Clark Phillips kind of has that type of career. Next question coming in from our friend, longtime viewer, Taylor Elwell. Is it a bad thing we got so many primetime games with Kirk being cheeks at night? Let's throw up the Falcons' first 8 or 10 games, Colin, if we could for a moment, because that's when a bulk of Atlanta's primetime games are. They have one Monday Night Football game in Las Vegas towards the end of the season. But, Taylor, you're right that the Falcons have a lot of primetime games, right? Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night in the first 5 weeks. I'm going to push back on the Kirk sucks at night. The primetime Kirk Cousins jokes kind of ended because he started to win a good amount of games in primetime. The guy won a playoff game in New Orleans. It doesn't get more primetime than that. So I don't know if that's really all that true anymore. I will say Kirk Cousins at Philadelphia, and I believe it's been week 2, multiple seasons, he has been cheeks. Last year, he played at Philly on Thursday night. They got the doors blown off. I think the season before that, because I have a core memory of sitting in B-dubs watching Vikings-Eagles week 2, and someone watching, please fact check me for 2022, also got the doors blown off. So that one I am afraid of, to be honest with you guys. But if they go 1-2 in that Eagles-Chiefs Bucks primetime stretch, that's a very attainable record to still have a successful season with. Speaking of Kirk Cousins, by the way, if you want to get yourself a Kirk Cousins jersey, we have them available for you all at fanaticschatsports.com/Cousins. I put that link in the comments and description of today's video. But get yourself a brand new Falcons jersey. My only advice or suggestion would be do it now, just because if you think you might want to do it later and you like to procrastinate like I do, when August rolls around and you order a jersey and then you find out it won't be here for a handful of weeks, you'll be super bummed. So do future you a favor, get a Kirk Cousins jersey today. Lav S. Does Bijan hit 2,000 receiving and rushing this year? Bijan last year had 976-ish yards. Can you fact check me, please, Colin? Bijan had 976, 75. Not typing, I'm just going off the top of my head. And he had 500, 450 receiving yards. Producer Colin Brown's about to fact check me. What do you have?
Okay, so what did you say for rushing?
976.
Correct. And how many for receiving?
This one I'm not so confident about. 425.
You were not far off. 487.
487. So put that together, a little under 1,500 yards. Yeah, I would say 2K combined is very much in play for Bijan. In fact, I would think he's more inclined to get 2,000 than not get 2,000 this year. Robert Champion, what's the plan for edge rusher? Are we going to trade for someone or just work it out? I think the plan is that Raheem Morris and the Falcons could only put out so many fires this offseason. Pass rusher, quarterback. And they attacked quarterback. And I don't blame them for that. Quarterback's going to have more impact on wins and losses than defensive ends do. And then the plan B is, all right, I'm going to bet on myself, being Raheem Morris, that I can coach up an Arnold Ebiketie, a Lorenzo Carter, a Zach Harrison, and give me 2 or 3 draft picks, and I'll put together a committee pass rush that will not be top 10 in the league, but it won't be bottom 10. And we're going to make do with being middle of the pack. And that's actually a pretty bold claim for a coach to make, but coaches love to bet on themselves with players. GMs love to bet on themselves with draft picks. So what's the plan? The plan is for Raheem Morris to do one hell of a job coaching up some of these pass rushers and get a good, solid rotation and committee going where you probably don't get a single guy that gets 10 sacks, but you hope to get a bunch of guys between 4 and 8 sacks. And you're okay with finishing 21st in sacks in the NFL. Dat one Falcons fan, 2 things for you. Falcons cut Heinicke and John Paddock to save cap space and sign Jake from State Farm. 2, Falcons give Cincinnati a 2025 first, second, and fourth for Trey Hendrickson. Who says no? First, you're not saving any money by cutting John Paddock. He's a UDFA out of Illinois. There's no dead cap hit, so you wouldn't cut him to save cap space. You could cut Heinicke, though, to save cap space. So if Paddock looks better or as good as Heinicke does, you could move on from Heinicke to save some money. 2, I don't think it would cost a first and a second. That's an overpay right there. If a player makes a trade request, the team that has that player loses a lot of leverage, which means teams aren't going to make an overwhelming offer for that player. So I think it would be a third and like a fourth for Trey Hendrickson, just because that trade request has already been made. And now we're getting closer to the season, so maybe some desperation creeps in to get a trade done. So maybe a third and another third, like 2/3, somewhere in that neighborhood. But definitely not a first and a second and a fourth. That's an overpay. George Washington, do you think Zach Robinson will put a Penix package in just so he can get on the field? Good question, Mr. President. No, I don't. Because I don't think Penix can bring anything to the table that Kirk Cousins can't. Like, Penix is probably faster, but it's not like, don't think Michael Penix is some rushing quarterback. No, he's a passer. Let's not kid ourselves here. He's got athleticism to him, but no, I don't think this is like a Marcus Mariota type draft pick where in the red zone you can do some design quarterback runs with him. Also, Penix has a lot of injuries, so I'm sure the Falcons coaching staff are not dying to make him run into NFL linebackers as a rookie. So I don't think we'll see many Penix packages, if any at all. Falcons prods, what's going on, buddy? The Falcons are going 12-5. Kirk is going to show how talented this roster is with a capable QB at the helm, and I think the defense can improve. I do have my concerns over the defense. The defensive coordinator left, Ryan Nielsen. I don't think we can guarantee that the new DC, Jimmy Lake, is any better because we saw how good Nielsen was in a quick turnaround. And their top 2 sack leaders from last year are gone. Bud Dupree's with the Chargers, and as I film this right now, Calais Campbell is a free agent. So there's a lot of wishful thinking. And hey, sometimes that happens in the NFL, where guys do take that next step and, people bet on certain players graduating and improving, and they do. But I'm not ready to just declare it as it's a done deal. This defense will be better. The offense will be a lot better. That's for sure. Robert Kelly, with the release of defensive end Aid Ogundeji, do we use the cap savings for defensive end Calais Campbell? My issue is the Falcons have made a lot of additions at Calais Campbell's position. James Smith-Williams, they signed him from the Commanders in free agency. They drafted Brandon Dorless. Zach Harrison was a third-round pick last year. Those are 3 players right there. The Falcons have playing time, snaps, roles envisioned for. And they could have gone with Calais Campbell over James Smith-Williams or you wouldn't, Brandon Dorless is a rookie versus a 16, 17-year-old vet, but I feel like the door may be closing for a Calais Campbell return. Aid Ogundoji was released, though, earlier. Saved $3.1 million in cap space, 2021 fifth-round pick out of Notre Dame. Missed all of last year with a foot injury, so unfortunate for him, but best of luck to Aid in his NFL career, wherever it takes him next. Brody Brown, will Casey Washington make a single catch this year? Yes. I will make that prediction. Casey Washington, the sixth-round pick out of Illinois, will make at least one reception. I am confident about that. In all seriousness, Casey Washington has been one of the storylines from OTAs and rookie minicamp. Like, all eyes are on Michael Penix, but as people watch Penix, they also notice that receiver he's throwing to is doing a really good job as well. So keep an eye on, I think, number 82. Archangel, we'll get your question on screen. Oh, that's for, he was helping someone else out. We got another question coming on in just a moment here. Make sure to tune into our live shows, by the way. If you have a question you want to ask, hashtag Falcons or Super Chat if you would like to get on screen. Who will be the next cut? We'll end the mailbag with this question right here. Who will be the next cut? Man, no one really jumps out to me. Like, if you were going to make cuts, you're kind of at that spot. So I wish I had a better answer for you, Archangel. We got one more question, but for now, no, I feel bad. I'm not doing my job. Next cut, maybe Richie Grant if he doesn't look good at all, but I don't think that's very likely. Marlon Kuzi. Marlon, what's going on, man? What's up, Petey and Falcons fam? I believe that we'll still go 12-5. Captain Kirk will have a huge role in the boys' success this year. I'm going 10-7, but you know what? If it's not 10-7, I'm much more inclined to believe it's 11-6 compared to 9-8. All right, that will do it for us on today's mailbag. To those of you that ask questions during our live show via hashtag Falcons or Super Chat, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Really, really appreciate it. And if you want to be on a future mailbag, use hashtag or come hang out with us, Thursdays, 5 p.m. Eastern.